is Johnnie with Lloyd and Associates with another segment of Excuse Me, Mind Your Business. Today's segment is going to be on actually 5 reasons for miscommunication. Now, this is not all extensive, not all inclusive. It is just 5 reasons for us to be more conscious of as it relates to miscommunication. First of all, communication is not just a monologue. Me talking, everybody else listening, you talking, and everybody else listening. Communication is normally dialogue, is what I'm looking at, where there is information that's being passed on. However, at the same time, is about the other people on the other side understanding and the information that's being provided. Communication can be from any direction. It can be from people that we work for, we work with, or people who work for us. And this is an area that gets us in trouble. In trouble. And it's something that when you look at it, even in relationship, one of the top reasons for people getting divorced is actually miscommunication. One of the main reasons that people are not satisfied at their jobs or anything like that is miscommunication. That's one of the main reasons. One of the main reasons when you're dating or in relationship with family, children, everything, even in church or where you go and worship, is miscommunication. What you heard is not what the person said, or what I got is, and I went out and did what I thought I heard, but it's not what they said. So communication is very critical, is very key. So one of the things that happens in miscommunication is the person who received the information, and I'm talking about it as a chain. Somebody gave information to me, then I give it to someone else, and then they pass it on. Or a leadership, as a leader, you provide information to someone and they don't get the whole gist of what you're saying. Now, one of the things in communication that is an issue that I sometimes have, and maybe it's not you, but a lot of people have it, is where we're just waiting for our time to talk. So we're not really listening to what the person's saying. And so one of the things I'd like to encourage you to do is listen to understand, not listen for a break to talk. So it will help us all be better listeners, and it also help us be better, more strategic, absolute influencers as it relates to communication. One of the things that happens in the miscommunication arena is that the person ignores the details and the message, and they don't pass the details down appropriately. Sometimes that's because the other person who got the message doesn't think certain details are important. Sometimes the person who's giving the message knows what they want, and they don't give enough information for the other people to be successful in the task. So that's one of the things that happens, is that details are ignored and not passed on appropriately. The second thing is allowing other people to influence the direction, the guidance that we've been provided. Without going back and checking to verify. People say, that's not what they said, or that's not what they meant. They don't mean for us to go over here and do that. And then you think, oh, well, maybe they don't. Nah. Get clarity. If that happens, get clarity. Because time is money. Your time is valuable. That's the thing you can't get back. So you don't want to work on a process and then find out that it wasn't what you're supposed to be doing, or it harmed someone, or you got the wrong communication, you got the wrong information. Again, you don't want to allow other people's influence to lead you in a different direction that would cause the guidance that you're providing to not be beneficial or cause miscommunication in that direction. one of the other things is failing to hold yourself accountable for what you say. If you said it, you need to admit you said it and then hold yourself accountable to that. Even if you need to change it at a different date, even if you need to fix it, if you need to provide additional guidance, if you need to say, you know what, that was the wrong way we went and now we need to do this. It is imperative when you communicate to hold yourself, not just others, to hold yourself accountable for whatever you say. Now, the fourth one is ignoring the consequences of the decisions that you make. Now, that's kind of related to not holding yourself accountable, because every decision causes other decisions. And this is what I tell people. You, as an individual, you can make a decision, but you have no control over how the other person will react to it. See what I'm saying? I can make a choice. I made a choice and I made a decision, but I then don't get a chance to control how they respond to my decision. So I have to be responsible for what I said, own it, and then I have to not ignore the consequences of the decisions and the communication I gave, or my indecision, or my disobedience to something. The boss told us to do this. I said, that's not the way we're going to do it. You decided to go a different direction. Or you gave instruction. People decided not to do it. There are ramifications from every decision we make. And that is imperative to remember. And then lastly, blaming others for our miscommunication. That ain't what I said. Okay, that's back to not holding myself accountable for what I said. Then that's not what I meant. Or that I don't know why this happened. Ignoring the consequences and then blaming others is connected to that. We always look at and say that is what they said. One of the ways that I look at it is I look at other people and say, it's because you told me to tell them. They messed up. They did it. It wasn't your fault. It was them. It was always them. And we have to be careful about that, because if it was because we gave miscommunication, then we have to own up to it, which is leader trait. Own up to it. We have to deal with the consequences, and we have to then gather, redirect, and move forward. In all things in communication is something that we have to practice. We have to make it a habit. So I'm encouraging you to practice communication. Make it a habit. Listen even more than you're listening now, to understand, not to just be heard, and even re-ask the question. Because sometimes I've been in situations where I've said something and that's not what the other person heard. They heard something differently. So in some cases, if this continues to happen, ask the other people, well, this is what I got. Is that the right direction? Or if it's someone else that you're talking to and they have historically not done what you asked, then you have to ask them to act, what are you getting from what I'm saying? What are you hearing? And then that way you can provide clarity so that you can move forward. Communication is huge. It's a huge piece of leadership. It's a huge piece in relationship. It's a huge piece in every aspect of our lives. So I encourage you to communicate better, to communicate more effectively, to communicate intentionally, and not always be in the place or to eliminate or to decrease the opportunities for miscommunication. This is Johnnie with just another segment with mind your business as you mind the business of your life.